Morning, everybody on Facebook. Let us know who you are, but we can see who you are because your name comes up. Or tell us what is wildly, ridiculously important to you in your life right now. This is a question that many people ask, and people just ask occasionally, but I think there are some things in life that we need to be reminded of over and over and over and over and over again. And that's what the role of a good coach will do. A good coach will ask you great questions. In fact, a coach will often ask you to do things that when he asks you to do things, immediately in your head, you will feel resistance to it because we resist growth. And that's the biggest battle that we have. And that's one of the things I want to do with you today. I want to share with you. I want to do a summary of what we've done this week. I don't know about you, but if you were going to sum up this week's worth of coaching, what words or word would you use to sum it up? For me personally, the one word I would use is astonish. I feel that I've really astonished myself in the content I've delivered. I'm kind of blowing my own trumpet here, but if I fail to recognize what I'm doing well, then how will I ever get better? And many of you probably have seen some likes from me today from the posts this week. And one of the reasons for that is I've just gone back this morning and watched every post that I've done this week, literally just looking because I like to do a summary of today. And this week has been a big week, right? I mean, how many of you have really applied yourself this week? If you were going to give yourself, give yourself a score for, maybe you're watching this for the first time. Maybe I'm completely new to you and think, who is this bald-headed guy with a t-shirt that says My 365 on it? My 365 is your opportunity to go and to work on yourself. The My, which is the me, right? The M stands for meaning. What's the meaning of your life? I think the meaning of your life is the meaning you give it. What matters to you is really important, and finding out what matters. From my experience of working with people for over 25 years, why often people live with guilt and worry and doubt and frustration and depression and sadness and loneliness is they're not fired up about creating something in their life. They're stuck in life, and it's like being stuck in no man's land, rather than being driven to work towards something. And that's what the I is. The I is you. It's the individual in your life. And the dot above the I is identifying what makes you come alive. You see, when I was a child, what made me come alive was obviously playing sport and getting recognition for other people. But it was often alcohol and drugs. That made me feel alive. Wow, I feel alive. I feel heightened. But the next day, I would often feel awful, right? And then I thought, oh God, I feel terrible. And often to stop feeling terrible, you'd repeat the cycle again and you'd feel good, but it was temporary. And I want to astonish you with something we spoke a little bit about yesterday, which was called syntropy. And I didn't know anything about this word, right? But before we go into this week, and what we've done, I want to thank all of you that have been with me this week, because next week, normal service will resume. This week has been about giving free content to everyone, 5 days of how to create an unbelievable 2018. We've been broadcasting every day this week at 7 a.m. And how many of you have been watching our evening broadcast at 7:30 with some of the success stories? Unbelievable. I've been blown away. I've been astonished by this incredible community of like-minded people. Feel free to share this, please. You never know who might watch this. And we're going to do one more of those tonight. We're going to interview another 3 of our My 365ers. Who knows, maybe even more. We might go a little bit crazy tonight and share some unbelievable stories of success. Your life is one big story. And are you happy with the story that you have created? Now, everyone is an individual, but where do you want your story to go? See, the role, I believe, of a coach is to help you identify where you want to go, and then working with you to support you, to guide you, to mentor you, to be your friend on that journey. Dorothy, she didn't know that she had the power, right, in The Wizard of Oz, but she had to go all the way to the Emerald City and go through a whole load of difficult challenges with the witch But she found some friends, right? The tin man who didn't have a heart, the lion who didn't have courage, and the scarecrow that didn't have a brain. And together, they all came together and they moved forwards, and they all lived happily ever after. We're all on the same journey in life. Not that we don't have hearts and brains, but we don't know how to use them. We don't know how to make the most of what we have. And if you want to try and figure that on your own, good for you. Good luck. But if you try and do it with world-class coaching and a group of like-minded people, you'll be amazed at what's possible. So I don't know about you, but how many of you look at me as your coach? Just tell me right now. You say, yeah, I look at you as my coach. You're my coach. You even tell people Pete Cohen is my coach. Because if you do, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm very honored to be your coach. This is the summary for the week, which we're going to go through right now. If you see me as your coach, then do as your coach asks you to do. And most of you know what I'm about to say. I'm going to say, okay, this week, what did you learn? What have you achieved this week? And what are you going to do with that? Now, if you see me as your coach, now remember, if I say this, what's the voice you hear in your head? Most of you go, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Which means you don't really want to grow, all right? You don't want to grow, because growth, as far as human beings, as I tell you, when I start coaching, my cat just gets up and walks away. My cat is not into coaching. My cat likes me feeding it, looking after it, stroking it, but talking to it about being positive and self-belief and confidence and leadership and mindfulness. Forget about it. Forget about it, right? But for you, chances are you probably need some of this stuff to be the person that you are truly capable of being. And that's what I want to discuss with you, because I believe in you probably more than you believe in yourself. What do you reckon? So I'm asking all of you this week, what have you learned? What have you achieved? And what are you going to do with it? For our elite members, post it. Don't spend too much time thinking about it. Post it in the elite community. If you want to share that in the private group as well, if you know what I'm talking about, you're more than welcome to do that as well, so other people might see it. But that's up to you. The most important thing, every week that we work together, first off, you either just write it down and keep it to yourself. The next best thing, write it down and tell a few people you know, you care about, other My 365, and say, this is what I'm working on. This is what I've learned. This is what I've achieved. This is what I'm going to do with it. Or make a post, write about it, or even get up in front of the camera. Hey, this is me. What have you learned? What have you achieved? And what are you going to do with it? So let's look at this week. So day one, on Monday, we looked at this year being your best year. And we talked about a resolution versus a revolution. So a resolution, which many people have, and apparently by January the 15th, that's the day where most people's resolutions have just gone out the window, and they'll just go back to where they were. They'll feel upset with themselves because they haven't done what they said they were going to do, which is why people lack confidence. Many of you know that. Confidence is your ability to just do what you say you're going to do. And the reason many people don't believe in themselves is because there's a part of the brain that goes, don't even think about doing it. The duck says, you failed so many times in the past, it ain't going to work. We try and protect ourselves, but that's because we're a bit naive and we don't realize what we have. You don't realize what you have. I don't even realize what I have, but I'm realizing it because I'm on a revolution. So what's the difference? A revolution is where you decide that's it. It's an overhaul. A complete revolution is you don't go back. People who are on a revolution, they don't go back. They're just moving forwards. And even if something sets them back, they'll get back up and they'll keep moving forwards, as Sylvester Stallone said, right? It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how you can get hit and keep moving forwards. So you get hit by life, by tragedy, by obstacles, but obstacles can make you stronger. So why do people fail in their New Year's resolutions? Well, in most places, I believe they don't have a coach. If you have a coach, I think it's quite hard to fail. And I think I'm the best coach in the world, providing people with the best coaching opportunity that they're probably ever going to get, which is turning up every day. Someone just here for you as you go to work, doing the little things that you need to do. No coaching. You don't believe in yourself. You get distracted. You keep looking and jumping around from thing to thing. You've got no confidence. You've got no support, and you've got the wrong information. So many people are still going about things in a way which they're just going to go around in circles. Weight loss is a case in point. Dieting. People think dieting is the answer, or cardiovascular exercise is the best way to lose weight. No, it isn't. It can help, but there's much better ways. You just got to get that right information. And you should get that information from someone who has a track record of getting results with people. I'm not the only one. There's lots of people you can get that information from. But if you're going to get a coach, check out the results they've had with people. So why are you going to win? Remember what we talked about this win, the acronym, that it was actually Michael Phelps's coach win. What's important now? What's important now? Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympic athlete in history, 28 medals, 23 golds. You've got a wig. You've got a wildly important goal that you're focusing on. What is it, guys? Let's share that with everyone right now. What's your wildly important goal for 2018? And we also spoke this week about you having a theme. My theme for this year is a warrior. That's my theme. Last year, I had a couple of themes, and I think this year will be even better, because for me, a warrior is someone who's marching forwards with an army of people to inspire the world, to make the world a better place. That's what I'm doing this year. I want to create as much inspiration. Inspiration is when you breathe life into something, and I'm breathing life into this right now. And some of you might be fired up by what I'm saying, but my goal is to fire you up so you're fired up yourself inside, not just feeding off my fire, that you light a fire in you, that the dot above the I, that you want to breathe life into what you do and the people that you meet. And then we'll hit 100 million people like that. You don't have any, the reason that you will win is you have dynamic tension. What that means is every day you are driven to achieve something and to keep going. A lot of people don't have enough dynamic tension pulling them forwards, so they just give up. So what we were looking at, if you want to win, is you mastering the mundane. There's no question about it. And this is what we looked on day 2, the habit busting formula. Habits can either move you forwards or move you back. What we have to do is develop the habits that allow us to master the mundane, the consistent things that have to be done every day. And for a lot of people, it's harder to do that than ever because there's too much distraction. There's too much stimulation, rather than us realizing just need to master the mundane, the little things, the mini habits that if I do them every single day and recognize them, from keeping a journal to getting up, tuning into a broadcast, feeding your brain with stuff that puts you in the direction that you want to go, the more you'll start to master these things till eventually this just become what you do. So I asked you also to think about what is your number one non-negotiable. For me at the moment, actually, my number one non-negotiable is getting a good night's sleep, which I've struggled for the last 2 nights, but I'm still here and I still get up even through the challenging times. I mean, that's not a big challenge, but it's a challenge to still stick to my rituals, because this is when we find out what people have. This is where we get to see what you're really about when something difficult happens. How much you have the ability to keep moving forwards. My dad has a book downstairs called The Holocaust. And I don't know too much about the Holocaust. I've watched Schindler's Lists. I know a little bit. But I always was very interested when I read about a gentleman who was a psychiatrist and his family all died in the Holocaust. And he developed a theory, and the theory was called logotherapy. And logotherapy really was all to do with you can't change, there's only a certain amount of things in life that you can control. And a lot of us try to control the uncontrollables. And he realized that he had to use his therapy on himself to deal with this situation. And part of that is what we call hope. There's actually a science of hope. And the science of hope is where you believe that your future can be even better than today. And you also believe you have what it takes. Plus, you also can see multiple pathways to take you to where you want to go. And that's where often people will fail, because they'll take one path. When that path doesn't work, they will give up. But when you're on that revolution, if something doesn't work, you'll get up and you'll keep moving forwards because you want to move somewhere. And that's why I have to ask you, where do you want to go? And this is what we looked at on day 3, which is about desperation. Many people get themselves into a desperate situation where they're just hugely overweight. They can't put on their clothes the way that they did before. The doctors told them that something wrong with them. I mean, for example, my wife, what got her to give up smoking was having a brain tumor. You know, before that, I don't think she was planning to give up smoking. But the desperation of that situation forced her into doing something that she wouldn't do that again. And this is the sad part of reality, is we often go and fulfill other people's dreams. We often make other people happy, which is nice to do that. But what about us? And we talked about making your desperation your inspiration, or what did we call it? Inspirational dissatisfaction. I love that, right? Inspirational dissatisfaction. Be inspired about what you're dissatisfied about. If you're dissatisfied with your health, your well-being, be inspired to do something about it. And there's nothing better to do it with other like-minded people. And that's the great things. How many of you have felt hugely connected to the stories that you've heard this week in the evening? And those stories are so amazing. And I want to thank all of you, because I know that a lot of you smile and you feel like that's amazing. But remember this, you are also a part of other people's journey. When you care for someone else, and you know, envy is a terrible disease when you're envious of what other people have achieved rather than celebrating other people's success. And I celebrate all of you that are here right now listening to me. Maybe you'll just take one thing away from what I'm saying and go and have and enjoy your life, because you should enjoy our life, but enjoy your life with contribution. Because for a lot of people, enjoying their life means eating too much, drinking too much, whatever else, rather than looking to contribute, looking to give the gifts that you have and give them to the world. We also looked at this week about a genius. What's a genius? Well, we used to think a genius is someone who knows a lot of stuff. Great, but really you don't need to know much these days, because you can get that information from the right sources. A genius is also someone who creates. Now, many of you have created too much fear and worry and doubt and frustration. Maybe now some of you are starting to create something else. Creating more love, joy, creating more what makes you come alive. We also looked at this week about gossiping. Remember, I talked about gossiping. Oh, we need that. Oh, no, oh, the price of butter. And I said, why don't we start gossiping about what's amazing? You know, very happy, successful people are always talking about what they're doing, not what's wrong, not what's missing. And what else did we look at this week? Oh yeah, just about how, you know, that duck in your head can, if I say, hey guys, please do me a favor. What have you learned this week? What have you achieved? What are you going to do with it? What does the duck say in your head? What does the duck say? Oh, I'll do it later. Or don't do it. One of my friends who's an Indian doctor, an Ayurvedic doctor, he said, look, I think the point of the duck is when the duck tells you something that you can't do, your job is to show your duck, look, let me show you what I can do. Let's make this year better than last year. If you haven't watched my goal setting workshop yet, let us know. We'll get it to you. There's a Facebook post for it somewhere. It's about an hour long to go through the biggest process. As we come to the end of today, a couple more things I want to say. You know, I've been refining my process for a long time. The results we've got this year and last year, the best results I've ever had, just because I'm getting better. Are you getting better? And what areas do you want to get better? We looked at 3 areas. Wellness should be the most important thing. That should be your number one priority, your wellness. Because if you're not well, then it's hard to take care of your family, and it's hard for you to be the best you can in your work. So those are the 3 areas: wellness, home, and work and service. And I was asking all of you to think about some goals for the end of this year. And where do you want to be with your health in 365 days? So where do you want to be? So the first question is, I want to get it in the right order. Is it what? Yeah, it's who. Yes, who. Who do you want to be in 365 days with your health? My duck was talking to me then, okay? Then what? The what should be specific. So like in 365, what do I want to be able to do? I don't know, run 10 kilometers, or there might be something that's specifically you want to do, right? And then it's why. Why do you want that? I'm fired up with my family. Who do I want to be? I want to be the best husband that I can be. What's the what? I want my wife to award me with husband of the year. Okay, that's what I want her to award me. Only she can award me with that. Why is that important to me? Well, that's why I really should have got married, right? to be the husband of the year. That's important to me in 365 days. And with my work and service, well, again, it's the same thing. I want to be the best. I want to be a better coach. What exactly do I want to have happen? I want more results. I want another 500 people who have radically changed their life and achieve what they want. And you could be one of those people. Why? That's what I feel I was put on this earth to do, to inspire you to step into your growth, grow, get better, and then own it. So you can look in the mirror and say, I did that. I got up at 6 o'clock this morning and I meditated. I got up in the morning and I exercised. I did it. I. So I was encouraging you all to think about that. Now, this is what I wanted to finish on today, which is, I think, is vital. And I mentioned this yesterday. You can go and Google this person, but you can write this word down. Syntropy, spelled Syntropy. Now, some of you might become the librarian of this information, which is fine. But My365, we're not librarians who have just gathered information. We use information. We apply information. And if you want to make improvements on those 3 different areas of wellness and work and family, you got 365 days to work with me and our community and have access to all of our masterclasses that will give you the superior growth in those areas, that in 1 year's time, if you were looking at yourself, just take a moment to imagine growing and working on yourself for 365 days. Let me explain it to you like this. This guy won the Nobel Prize twice. He was a research biologist. Don't ask me to try and pronounce his name. Albert Zend Gregera. I cannot pronounce that, but I'm sure you could. Syntropy, just Google Syntropy if you want to. And he with his research, he said that in all living matter is an innate drive for living matter to perfect itself. There is no staying the same. Syntropy. So within all living matter is a desire for that matter to express itself to the best it possibly can. And this is why I feel a lot of people need help and coaching in order to do that, because they don't believe in themselves. They have been brainwashed for years about, oh, don't do that, do this, get a proper job. They've followed other people's ideals. They fitted into a world that's basically said they are the problem. So what often people do is they fit into something which makes them mediocrity. And mediocrity means caught in the middle of a rugged mountain. Mediocrity means a mountain, just caught in the middle. And I believe that when you're caught in the middle, you're not growing. You're dying. There's a part of you that is dying inside. And let's be totally honest here. We're not perfect. We don't live forever. But the cells in our body are always looking to express themselves in the best way they possibly can, to the maximum. How do they express themselves? Well, if you sleep well and you live well and you look after yourself and you move, all the cells in your body are charged through movement. If you're happy and you're doing things which make you feel that you come alive and you're challenging yourself and testing yourself, you're growing. My365, I believe, is your opportunity to express yourself in the best possible way that you ever will. But only you can do it. It's up to you. So let me ask you this. Write that word down. Want me to spell it for you again? Syntropy. All living matter has the innate drive to perfect itself. What about you? See, I believe in you so much, you have no idea. And that's why I keep showing up. I'm showing up because I'm just looking for the one person, or maybe 2 or 3. Because I guarantee you this, work with me for 365 days, and I guarantee you will express yourself like you never have done before. Go and check out My365 Elite for yourself if you really want to. because we're closing the doors for a little bit. I don't know until when, on Sunday, just for around £1 a day, you can get to work with me and create an unbelievable life of meaning, of purpose. As you, Syntropy, you express the highest versions of yourself. Let me just show you this. I've shown it all week, you know, and I maybe just add this to the broadcast. I can show you guys on Instagram. You can see inside our program here. Look, this is the real deal. Let me make this a little bit bigger, because those of you that are our elite members, on Monday we are really going to work on this. Let me show you. Here we go. On Monday, that's it. On Monday, we're going to dive into this content. So here's the members area. So when you become a My365 member, you get access to all of this amazing content, all of these masterclasses, and you can graduate. You can graduate in each of these different areas: best year yet, wellness, mindfulness, leadership, confidence, willpower, habits. You complete eight of those, and you've showed application of this knowledge, then you can graduate. And I can't wait for you to do that. So this is what we're going to be looking at next week, guys. We're going to start diving into this content. It's the most unique coaching experience in the world, because we are not just talking about things, we're bringing concepts to life. It's the application. And this is the biggest issue that I see in schools at the moment, because schools, we're still getting people to learn stuff. And it's like, why do we want to learn stuff when we can grow? We can really grow. Now, as we bring this to a close, I'm asking all of our members to really commit to a process of developing yourself, because I think that's where a lot of people maybe realize they could have had bigger success than they did last year, because they didn't really commit. Very few people have ever committed to anything fully and given it their 100%. So I really appreciate all of you guys showing up here today. It's been a phenomenal week. I've enjoyed this week probably as much as any week. Has anyone got anything they want to say? Say whatever you want in the comments. Say whatever you want. If you want someone else to hear something, or you want to say something, or you've got a question, it's been an awesome week. We don't normally broadcast for this period of time every day. You know, we normally broadcast for 10-15 minutes. Thank you very much. I'm committing to the process. Yeah, commit to it and just do what your coach asks you to do. You know, and I know people like Elaine Jews, who, you know, it's just had a big challenge. You know, her mum passed away. I can't even begin to imagine. That must be extremely challenging, but she's still here. You know, some of our members have had a real difficult time recently, you know, and I have so much admiration for the fact that you still show up, you know. If any of you guys have got anything you want to say, now's the time. You can share it. Looking forward to committing next week. Looking forward to, yeah, absolutely. What else do we have here? I will always be committed to My365. It's changed my future. Yeah, and you've changed mine, because you're helping me fulfill, you know, my dreams, which is to help you, inspire you. Can't wait for Monday. Yeah, thank you. Get stuck in right now. You can get ahead of the game if you want. Here's Susie Beaumont, one of the most incredible human beings. Current member of the month. I've made massive positive changes in my life as a result of My365. And just to think where I met Susie Beaumont, met her in this house, a journalist. Would you call yourself a journalist? An amazing human being, a life changerist in this house, where she came to interview my wife about my wife going through the treatment for cancer. Alicia, who was one of our guests yesterday. I want to start getting stuck into my rituals more than ever. Absolutely. It's mundane, but it's awesome. I have 3 goals. I have 3 goals. That too much weight loss, learning to drive, finishing my work and getting. Should I do one thing at a time if you can, or but first things first, second things, ignore second things. What I mean by that, radio producer, there you go, and guru. If you're going to do one thing, do that one thing. If you're going to do something else, then when you do that other thing, let the other one have gone, you know. Instagram summary, there you go. Louise Summerscales. Look, looking out for other people. Thank you for all of you that have joined us here today. Let's do a quick summary. I know some of you have all popped off now. Bye-bye, Instagrammers. You're great. Join us tonight, not on Instagram, just on Facebook. Have a great day. Much love. Take advantage of becoming an elite member. Do it now. Don't waste time. Get stuck in. Get stuck in. Here we go. We ready? So let's do a quick summary of the week. So we're doing a summary here, and there's me. Look, are you committing to the process? I'm asking all of you to. It's been an amazing week of free content about making this the best year yet. For me, the word of the week is syntropy. And this is something I didn't know anything about. I wrote it down here. Look, syntropy. And there's a guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize. In fact, let me just, not the Peace Prize, just the Nobel Prize. The innate drive in living matter to perfect itself. All living matter has a drive to perfect itself. We have a drive to make ourselves better. But because we're not, and we know we're not living up to the values, the virtues, the potential that we have, that's where regret lives. So to change your life, to change your world, is to stand in the light and go to work on yourself like you never have done before. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's been an awesome week. We'll see you tonight for our interviews with some more elite members. Have a great day. Much love. Take care, guys. Thank you for being here. Happy, beautiful day. And we will see you